Hello guys and welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm actually having the face cam and today I actually want to build a PC for maybe around $400. So budget PC, not too expensive, not something that's out of reach, but something you guys might be able to get into. Maybe if you want to start gaming, maybe a little bit of video editing, just light video editing, you might be able to do it with this PC. So let's get started. So for the CPU, I mean, there are a couple of choices here, but I would mostly recommend, an AMD because, best budget for performance. I think the best idea to go here is just to pick out a AMD Ryzen 5. I mean, $160. Just remember, this is actually a PC parts without any peripherals or the actual Windows key, because, that can, if you get it from someplace, it might be 15 bucks, or if you get it from the official Windows store, that might be $100. So next thing on our list is gonna be actually a motherboard, because this CPU actually comes with a pretty good cooler. You can get a little bit of overclocking done. It's a pretty good cooler. Let's see, not something too expensive, but I don't want it to be way too cheap either. Okay guys, change of plans. We're actually gonna go for AMD Ryzen 1600. That's only because that one doesn't, the 1600X didn't actually have a cooler, to my surprise. So we're just gonna go ahead and go with a 1600 just to save a couple of bucks. If not, in the end I'll change it back depending on what the actually cost of it is. Next up is actually the memory, and for this you're gonna at least 8 gigabytes of RAM, around 3200 speed, 3200 megahertz. And just keep in mind that whatever RAM you actually choose for your PC build, especially on AMD systems, the memory clock speed is going to actually affect the overall performance of the system. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind whenever you're just picking out your parts. All right. So I actually chose the G.Skill AG 16GB 2x8GB sticks, DDR2666 memory. So that should be good enough for our system. Now I would always recommend. I mean, you can go many different routes with this, but I would always recommend a 1TB hard drive just to be safe. You can store a whole bunch of stuff in there, and you don't need to have like 200 games stored on your PC at one time. Just a regular 1TB hard drive, and then we can probably add. I'm actually gonna try to fit in here an SSD, because I feel like in today's day and age, 2019, an SSD is very important. Makes things load faster. Certain programs that you might want to have loaded faster are gonna be in there, and that's gonna be very important for overall performance. So let's just see. We're gonna need an SSD. I'm thinking either 120 or 240 gigabyte SSDs, because usually those are gonna be the best, at least at this price point. We can go with a Kingston 240 gigabyte SSD for around $30. That's a really good price. That will make everything store fast. I actually have a 120 gigabyte SSD on my computer right now. It just makes everything just so much smoother. The whole experience is just better. So I would highly recommend that. Now for a video card, I'm actually hoping that since the new RTX 2060 came out just a couple of weeks ago, I believe, or maybe a month depending on when you're watching this video, hopefully we can find some deals on the 1060s. Maybe not from last generation, the GTX 1060s, maybe even 1070s depending, but we'll just see how good we can get with this. I have a 1060 6GB from EVGA on mine. It's pretty good. It gets the job done for 1080p gaming. Current titles get medium to high settings, and don't expect anything just overly good about the thing, but it'll get the job done, better than a cheap computer, I guess. We need this to be under 500, so maybe a GTX 1050 will do, because we still need a case and a power supply. So let's just go ahead and do that. You don't need anything too special. Most of the OK Cooler Master Thermal Take case will be around $40. Actually, I like this one a lot, Cooler Master. And then we just choose a power supply, and let's see in some ways how we can make this a little bit cheaper, and how just make the overall experience just better. Usually for a power supply you don't want to cheap out, because it can actually cost you your whole system. And TXM 550 watt form Corsair, $40 for 550 watts. That should get the job done and should actually go above and beyond. You know, if you want to add a more powerful graphics card, so if you want to add more stuff to this, like a new CPU or a new motherboard or things like that, this power supply will get the job done. And I guess that's really it. The total came out to about $653, which is a little bit on the expensive side. I mean, I was trying to get it for around $500, you know. That's of course after mail-in rebates with a discount of $45. But if you were just to get the base total of this system, it would be about $700. I mean, I guess not a bad deal considering what you're getting. You can get some pretty good editing done with this. But you know, you got a 1TB hard drive, you got a 240GB SSD, and now that I actually think about it, we could opt out of an hard drive and just go with an SSD altogether and save some money there. Yeah, so you know, I've tweaked a few things and tried out a different combination. I think maybe this would be a better refined version, you know, keeping the same power supply and keeping the same case, but you know, just changing the memory from 1TB and about 240GB of storage to 500GB SSD. That made things just a little bit cheaper by about $30, you know. But I still would recommend the first one if storage wise, because you got a 1TB which will hold a lot of stuff, and then you got a 240GB SSD that you know is gonna make the whole system more fluid. Honestly, I would choose the other one over this. You're gonna save maybe like $20-30. Personally, don't think it's worth it. The only thing I would actually recommend, just you know, upgrade to a GTX 1060 or an AMD RX 580. Thank you guys for watching. You know, if you would like to replicate this, just go ahead, try it. If you're first-time PC builders, just you know, give PC building a try. You know, watch a few videos, get yourselves into the actual you know PC building community and things like that, and I think you'd actually enjoy it a lot. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.